What should our response be to such things as the David Lammy report? Should we clap with joy and be happy they took our things into consideration?
It depends. I'm in a certain space right now. It's we're talking about the judges judging, and we have judges and they judge us and we don't get justice. So we look at who's going to judge the judge. You like in the body, for me, it's like when we look on this planet is like a body. So when you have a body and you have an injustice in the body, an infection in the body responds accordingly. So on the planet, when there's an injustice, that's like an infection, and the planet deals accordingly to the infection. So I'm connecting, when we're talking about the judges, we've got to look at the storms that's going on the planet. Because we're looking at things and just see storm there, injustice over there, and just we don't connect the dots. And we're in a society, we're in a world where we still believe in Santa Claus and the white man's world's going to be here forever.
As they did in Rome.
That's it. So we see all the storms and just think, oh, it's just storms. Oh, it just happens. We just carry on. We don't see that when we look at history, nations rise and fall. And then you look at history, and scripture talks about nations that fall. There were storms and plagues. Yeah. But we're not looking at it properly, what's going on in the world. So when you're seeing these kind of storms and we just think they just happen, it's like we touched on the storms earlier, but we just think they just happen. But Europeans don't look at smart Europeans don't look at it like that. I was talking to Trevor earlier that governments have been using the weather as weapons of war.
Definitely.
You have to enlighten me. Help me with that.
In the Vietnam War, America was manipulating the weather to try to prolong the monsoons in Vietnam, seeding clouds.
I have heard that. I haven't studied that. But okay.
And people think that's far-fetched, that can't be done, but actually there actually is a law in the UN saying no, countries now we've got to stop messing with, but you can't use weather as weapons.
Weather weapons, yes.
Why would you have a law like that if that don't happen? So if you got man looking at using weapons, using the weather as weapons, and we people who believe in the creator and don't think there's a creator out there will use his creation as a tool to get his way. So when we look at these storms and things like that, and we see the injustice in the world, we got to start connecting dots. It's like you said earlier with the things happen. What you said earlier made a lot of sense. I look at it in the context of the European love that big bang theory, a big bang, and then you just respond to the bang. We're not looking at what caused the bang. So storms happen, we just, what's causing this stuff? They're saying is going as far as saying, what are they saying? Climate change. Climate change. Such a nice term. Climate change. Climate change of climate.
Yeah, which means really it's just a euphemism for the fact that they're mashing up the planet.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
But even the way it's said, climate change. The climate is changing.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
But
there's two ways to look at this though, because some people say that we're destroying the planet, right? But and then there's another school of thought that actually says, well, we can't destroy the planet. The planet will destroy us first.
Yes.
And as brother was saying, in terms of the fact that looking at a disease, and if we are in the consciousness of making ourselves a disease in Mother Nature will find a way to extract us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If we're not harmonizing with her, you know what I'm saying? That's just a reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's very, very linked in terms of the injustices that we see in terms of criminal injustice and the planet and these kinds of things. And this is why, you know, when we as a people are so blessed because we have answers to this. In our whole, you know, our history and our culture. We're a nature-based people, and so this coming from that perspective, like you know how much problems we solve just by being nature-based, just by having a concern from for our environment as just a prerequisite of who we are as our culture. It's not something that we don't have to have a go green campaign. You know what I'm saying? To know that the sea is important. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like something that we can't just cut down every tree. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need to. You know what I mean? We don't need millions of dollars of mass campaigning to do these things. You know what I'm saying? It's just in our in our things. You know what I'm saying?
Like, oil in the sea.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, we don't need all them something there. Let's not build a nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? Like, just common sense for I and I. You get me? So yeah, it's very important. We just realise that. You know what I mean? So,
because what happened, like I don't know if y'all were aware, but Minister Farrakhan was speaking on the 20th of August, and actually one of his points when he finished was, watch the weather. And he's known, like he's saying that.
Minister Farrakhan's been saying that for quite some
while,
time.
And whenever he say it, like they had I saw a YouTube video where they was like putting the dates that he says watch the weather, and then watch the weather,
right.
Because nature itself, as you said, must answer the question, and it's not, injustice doesn't last forever. Like you said, they thought Rome was going to last forever, thought Pompeii was going to last forever, and we know of many civilizations. Has this one reached the end of its time? Because if the news is anything to believe, and some of the stuff we're going to be talking a little bit later about gender neutrality in school uniforms, and now it's like, I don't even know where this society is going, if the truth be told. We're going to be joined, if we're lucky, by our young, highly qualified social worker in a few moments, but we'll see how we go. But we'll get into that. The situation as it stands with the what we're going through now with the hurricanes and the injustice that we're seeing. Do you all see where do you see the change coming from in this society? I know we're talking about the hurricanes there, but in England, where do you see the changes coming from?
In terms of the change, what do you mean exactly by the changes?
Do you see us responding? If we're the body, how do we respond to such things?
That's tough. I mean, it's difficult. I'm trying to think of how to address it properly. But if you think about the changes that are going, I think it's just the hurricanes and stuff that's happening over there. I think the whole society, really, if you study it, is coming down. From you could begin with the education system to the healthcare system. Everything is kind of unraveling. Like, even people are more unhappy now than they were 30, 40 years ago. So it's like, you can already see it happening when you look at the family structure. It's just every facet of the society you can see kind of unraveling, and that's why it's like more and more. The more people I speak to, I'm finding a lot of the conversations I have with people are talking about moving somewhere else. Like, they don't want to be here no more.
True, very true.
And it's become so common now. It's just like, this is like, get your money and get out.
Do you know what? I was trying to lead to that point, so I'm glad you said it. Because I have just come to the conclusion for myself, and I'm just asking, is there anyone else seeing it like that? Like, isn't it like time we start, penciling a particular date that we're going to head to the airport?
Who wants to raise children in this country?
Because to raise children in this country, this is how I felt when I saw that gender neutral thing, and we're getting rid of like the uniforms because boys might want to wear skirts, and we don't want the girls to have a certain feeling of inferiority if they have to wear skirts. So we don't call everything neutral. Take the labels out the clothes. You just close your eyes, grab one, and now you that. Okay, cool. Everybody's entitled. Like, I believe in free will. Like, I really believe everybody should be free to express themselves how they feel. I need to express myself elsewhere. I feel like it's time to get out. Am I the only one? Like, David, are you planning to be here for any long period of time?
No, but you said something earlier about free will, which is important, because people might misunderstand that. Because you can have a kitten has a free will, but who is his influences around it?
Good.
Saying if there's a dog, it's his teacher telling him you got to bark, you have to be this way, and the cat might just say, "Oh, naturally, I'll be that way." So it's not. As individuals, we've got to look at what's our environment.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Who's influencing our so-called free will?
And I guess it's our lack of control of said environment that puts us in a situation.